Welcome to the newspaper review. I am your host, Fatou George. On today's standard newspaper headline, CPA Banjul conference calls for homegrown solutions to Africa's challenges. Lawyer faults Jane Commission over sale of Jammeh's asset. Man charged over mass killing of vultures. Three charged over death of babies subjected to FGM. Security medical personnel get priority banking at Ajib. Man arraigned for allegedly stealing Gamtel properties worth over $2 million. Lawyers introduced to integrated tax administration system. Now the news in detail. President Adama Barrow has called for African nations to look inward and take charge of their own development. It is high time we look inwards in Africa, as this is the only way to move this continent forward, he said. The president was speaking at the opening of the 54th Conference of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, Africa Region, at the Sadauda Kairaba Conference Center. After welcoming delegates from Commonwealth countries from all over Africa, the president urged African nations to stop blaming colonialists and instead focus on building a better future for their people. The president also highlighted the challenges facing Africa, including conflicts, economic shocks, and climate change. We have witnessed with deep concern the presence of conflicts and the unfortunate re-emergence of unconstitutional governments in some parts of the continent. These incidents undermine peace, reverse hard-won development gains, and displace millions of people, the president lamented. Dabo told the Standard on Tuesday that while the Jani Commission had constitutional power to issue interim orders to preserve the assets under investigation, it overstepped its legal mandate by selling or dissipating these assets before concluding its work and submitting its report. He added, over time, there were demands for a publication of the items sold, to whom and for how much, a simple request the government refused to comply with for years on end. By its current primary legal advisor, it stonewalled and interposed the ridiculous argument of protecting the privacy of the buyers. Amid public outrage and mounting speculators about the mysterious mass death of vultures at various places in the country, police have said they have arrested a serving soldier, Lance Corporal Aliou Jallow, and a civilian, Ibrahim Khan, in connection with the suspect killing of the birds protected by the law under the Wildlife Conservation Act. Police Communications Unit Officer Mariama Fati said the civilian has been charged and released on bail. She said the incident they have been arrested for occurred in Buyam. The two allegedly used poison, rubbed it over the body of dead animals to lure vultures, and once the birds die from consuming poison, the duo will cut and keep their heads for so far unknown purposes, leaving it in the bush, the police said. The Arab Gambia Islamic Bank, Ajib, yesterday launched a priority banking and concessionary financing tailored specifically for members of the National Security Services, doctors, nurses, and midwives across public and private health facilities nationwide. Under the initiative, all security and medical personnel have been offered a dedicated priority lane at all Ajib branches, saving them from long queues as well as providing them with concession unique to them. These include zero COT concession for salaries below $20,000, no legal fee financing that provides relief and peace of mind for service and medical personnel, no facilitation fee, acceptance of a warrant card or medical ID for account transactions only, free issuance of ATM cards, and free issuance of first checkbook. As an Islamic bank, Ajib have gone beyond conventional financial offerings to craft exclusive, empathic, and adaptive solutions for the men and women in uniform. The Gambia Revenue Authority, GRA, yesterday organized a sensitization workshop for legal practitioners on its new integrated tax administration system, a significant reform aimed to modernizing and digitalizing tax administration in the Gambia. The ITAS project replaced the older GAMTaxNet system with more robust web-based platform design to facilitate online tax registration, filing, and payment. This means taxpayers, including businesses and individuals, can complete tax-related processes conveniently from home to office without visiting GRA offices. The implement of ITAS is funded by the World Bank under the Gambia Fiscal Management Development Program and supported by other partners like the IMF. The Deputy Commissioner General, Esa Jallo, said while tax administration play a crucial role in the mobilization of domestic revenues necessary for national development, many tax administrations are facing increasing costs while taxpayers are also facing high compliance costs. One man, John Silva from Bursubi, was yesterday arraigned before Magistrate Keba Balde of Bundung, charged with stealing and causing malicious injury to properties worth $2 million, $554,323.25 belonging to state telecommunications company Gamtel. Silva, who was unrepresented in court, pleaded not guilty. The charge sheet alleged that on July 5th at Kersering, Bijilo, and diverse places, man John Silva stole copper cables, among other things valued at $2 million, $554,323.25. The accused was granted bail and the case adjourned to 25th August. 3 women have been charged over the death of a baby girl reportedly subjected to female genital mutilation, which is outlawed in the Gambia. One of them, Fatou Kamara, is remanded after being charged with prohibition of female circumcision, which carries life imprisonment as punishment. The other 2, Umi Sawane and Hawa Conte, are charged with accomplices to female circumcision and have been granted bail. Police yesterday urged the public for support in safeguarding the well-being of vulnerable persons by reporting any case of harmful traditional practices to the nearest police station. In sports, the Gambia Football Federation has been charged a whopping $25,000 by Kenya for the provision of a stadium and cost of other hosting logistics for the Scorpions' home game against Burundi in the World Cup qualifiers early next month. With Gambia's independent stadium still not ready for international matches, the GFF had communicated to CAF indicating its decision to host the match in Kenya. The GFF said the decision to host it in Kenya makes sense since the Gambia will play away to Kenya in the same week in Nairobi. It's only logical that we host Burundi, which is not far from Kenya, at the same place rather than flying the team to another venue, a senior GFF official told The Standard. The Gambia will play Kenya on September 1st and host Burundi 4 days later on 5th September in the World Cup qualifiers. Moving on to the Voice newspaper headlines, Mob suspends 631 candidates over examination malpractice. Former jungler Michael Correa faces sentencing in U.S. court. UNICEF, WFP signed MOU on services to vulnerable groups orders in Gambia. Barrow presides over CPA Africa Summit. Now the news in detail. The Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education has suspended 631 candidates over suspected examination malpractice following the announcement of the 2025 West Africa Senior School Certificate Examination results. In a statement issued yesterday, the ministry disclosed that results of 631 candidates flagged for suspected examination malpractice. Therefore, the results have been withheld pending the outcome of the Council's adjudication process. The ministry affirmed that the milestone was a firm stance against any form of academic dishonesty. The ministry pointed out that a total of 961 candidates representing 5.11% of 18,819 candidates with complete records achieved credit passes in 5 or more subjects, including the critical subjects English language and mathematics, in which 44.22% were male and 55.78% were female. We recognize that while this achievement demonstrates commendable effort by the candidates, there remains substantial room for improvement in foundational subject mastery, it added. Michael Sankorea, a former member of the Gambian death squad known as the Junglers, will be sentenced on August 22, 2025 in a U.S. federal court in Denver, Colorado, sources have revealed. According to official statements from the Center for Justice and Accountability and the Alliance of Victim-Led Organizations, Correa will be sentenced after his trial. The statement confirmed that on April 15, 2025, after a 5-day trial, a Denver jury found Correa guilty of 5 counts of torture and 1 count of conspiracy to commit torture. These charges relate to acts carried out in 2006 during an attempted coup against former President Yahya Jammeh. The sentencing hearing will include arguments from both the prosecution and defense. Victims will also have the opportunity to submit statements describing how Korea's crimes impacted their lives, according to the Alliance of Victim-Led Organizations. The statement further states that Korea retains the right to appeal the verdict on limited grounds following sentencing. President Adama Barrow yesterday presided over the 54th Commonwealth Parliamentary Association Africa Summit, which opened here in Banjul. Speaking at the opening ceremony, President Barrow called on African leaders to unite in building stronger democracies and more resilient nations. He emphasized the urgent need for collective action to tackle conflicts, economic shocks, and the growing impacts of climate change across the continent. He was speaking at the official opening of the 54th Commonwealth Parliamentary Organization Africa Region Conference, hosted for the first time in the Gambia at the Sir Dawda Kairaba International Conference Center. On climate change, the President notes that Africa is already living its consequences, from Chilean droughts to coastal erosion and floods, which exacerbate poverty, migration, and insecurity, he called. As delegates began their deliberation, Barrow reminded them that the salvation of Africa lies in democratic governance, proper policies, and sustained peace. He declared the conference officially open, urging participants to translate discussions into concrete actions for a more peaceful, prosperous, and resilient Africa. The fight against malnutrition to support children under 5, pregnant and breastfeeding women and girls, UNICEF Gambia and WFP jointly signed a memorandum of understanding to deliver services to vulnerable groups and communities in the Gambia. The official signing ceremony was held at Ozone Bay Hotel, Cape Point on Wednesday, 13th August 2025. Speaking before the signing of the MOU, Ms. Nafisa, country representative of UNICEF the Gambia, highlighted the importance of this MOU. This MOU, she dilated, is a bold step forward. It signals our shared determination to support government leadership in humanitarian action, emergency, preparedness, and response. She added that it will strengthen systems at national and subnational level. A resident of Jalamba in West Coast region has been remanded at Mile 2 Central Prison after pleading guilty to threatening violence. Amadou Mbaye, an adult Gambian, appeared before Magistrate KB Sambu of the Brikama Magistrate Court on Wednesday, 13th August 2025, charged with threatening violence contrary to Section 77 of the Criminal Offences Act 2025 laws of the Gambia. According to the particulars of offense, on 8 August 2025 at Jalamba village, Mbaye allegedly threatened to stab one Yusufa Sonko with a knife, with intent to intimidate or annoy. The court heard that the charge was read to Mbaye in Wolof, a language he said he understood. He admitted to the offense. Prosecuting Officer Corporal 6397 Eba, representing the Inspector General of Police, applied for an adjournment to present the facts of the case before sentencing. The court granted the prosecution's request and adjourned the matter to 26 August 2025 for presentation of facts and sentencing. In sports, Pompey and Black Stars KM booked their place in the Brikama Sports Committee BSC Nawetan proper after thrilling penalty shootouts in the ongoing qualifiers. In the first encounter, Marico FC took the lead against Pompey through an early penalty. However, Pompey fought back to level the score before halftime. Despite several chances in the second half, neither side could find the net, forcing a dramatic post-match penalty shootout. Pompey emerged victorious in a marathon 8-7 shootout, securing their passage to the next stage. Now to the foreign newspaper headlines. Police arrest 9 suspected online scammers in Bursubi. WAS results show progress highlight gaps in English mathematics. ECOWAS launched Business Council in September. 7 men admit to public order offences in Kanifing Court. Now the news in detail. The Gambia Police Force has launched an investigation into an alleged online scamming operation after a patrol team arrested 19 suspects in Bursubi, following a tip-off about suspicious activities in the area. Police spokesperson, Cadet Assistant Superintendent Modu Musa Sisao, said officers from the Serekunda police station stormed a building along the Bursubi highway, where the suspects had allegedly occupied 2 floors fitted with laptops and other computer equipment. The suspects, mostly Nigerian nationals, were allegedly being trained by 2 Chinese nationals to promote fake online businesses, PRO Sisawa revealed. He added that personnel from the Cybercrime and Crime Scene Investigation units visited the scene to document evidence. Statements have been recorded and all suspects remain in custody while investigations continue. Items recovered, according to police, the raid led to the seizure of 83 iPhones, 27 Android phones, 1 simple phone, 5 laptops, 6 power banks, 2 smartwatches, 1 tablet, cash amounting to $29,800, Nigerian passports, exercise books. The suspects, aged between 19 and 35 years, are all Nigerian nationals residing in Sinchu Alaji and Costa Road. The GPF reiterates its commitment to combating cybercrime and urges the public to report any suspicious online activities to the nearest police station, Sisawa said. 7 men have pleaded guilty to public order offenses, including assaulting a police officer after an incident earlier this month in Kololi Tavan. Prosecutors said the group Mohamed Gassama, Aliou Ly, Modou Sanyang, Doudou Nyang, Kering Minte, Badu Cham and Lamin C committed the offences on August 10, 2025 during a confrontation in the Kanifing municipality. Court records show that Mr. Gassama was accused of grabbing first-class officer Pierre Jata by the neck and hitting him in the fence while the officer was carrying out his duties. 3 others, Mr. Lee, Mr. Sanyang and Mr. Nyang, were charged with taking part in a public fight, while all 7 were accused of behaving in a manner likely to cause a breach of the peace. Moving on to sport, Gambian international midfielder Jesper Cisse has signed a 3-year deal with Turkish Super League football club Antalyaspor from Swedish side IFK Norrköping. The deal, which will keep him at the club until June 2028, is for a reported fee of €447,000, which is over $37.8 million. Cisse, 23, attracted suitors this summer window amid his last season performances with clubs in England, among those who made enquiries about his service. He was reportedly set to join another Turkish Super League club after an agreement was reached amid both clubs, but the deal couldn't go through. It didn't take long for another club, Antalyaspor, to inquire and made a bid for him. Antalyaspor has signed a 3-year contract with Gambian midfielder Jesper Cisse from Swedish IFK Norrköping team. We welcome our footballer and wish him success under our red-white crest, the club announced on Wednesday afternoon. Now to the Point newspaper headline. Police conclude probe into death of 7 people in Nwes. Barrow urges Africa to defend democracy, conquer crisis. Ex-BSAC chairman admits financial mismanagement. Now the news in detail. Police in the Gambia have concluded their investigation into the tragic death of 7 employees of the Key Industries Limited, one of the contractors implementing Nwes World Bank-funded GERMP project, who were fatally electrocuted while on duty in Nwes. The case file has now been forwarded to the Ministry of Justice for legal advice and possibly further action. The incident, which occurred last year, sent shockwaves across the country and raised serious concerns about workplace safety standards within the energy sector. The 7 men were reportedly working on a high-voltage transmission line when they were electrocuted in what authorities have described as one of the deadliest industrial accidents in recent Gambia history. Modou Musa Sisawa, the spokesperson for the Gambia Police Force, who was contacted for comments, confirmed that the investigation has been completed and that all relevant findings have been submitted to the Ministry of Justice. The Ministry of Justice is expected to determine whether criminal charges, regulatory penalties, or policy reforms will follow. The ownership of popular and renowned Club Envy nightclub located in Fayara within the Kanifing municipality has finally been disclosed. The Point has reliably learned. A source speaking to the Point on condition of anonymity revealed Envy nightclub is owned by Hatta Jane, including Envy Brief and all other business operating within the building. The source further stated, "I can also confirm that Hatib leased NV nightclub to Paulo for a period of 5 years. Secondly, Mohammed is not an employee at NV nightclub. He has no contractual relationship with the establishment. In fact, Mohammed has confirmed this to the police. Paulo has also stated that he personally works at and manages the club himself, the source claimed. The revelation puts to rest speculation surrounding the popular nightlife venues' ownership and management, which has been the subject of public curiosity in recent months. The Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education has officially released the 2025 West African Senior School Certificate Examination results, revealing a mixed but telling portrait for academic performance across the Gambia, while pass rates in foundational subjects such as English language and mathematics remain worryingly low. Students have demonstrated exceptional attitude in science and technical disciplines. These years show a significant increase in candidature, with 20,247 candidates from 156 senior secondary schools registering for the examination, representing a 12.22% rise from the 18,042 candidates in 2024. A total of 961 candidates, representing 5.11% of the 18,819 candidates with complete records, achieved credit passes in 5 or more subjects, including the critical subjects English language and mathematics. Of this group, 44.22% were male and 55.78% were female. We recognize that while this achievement demonstrates commendable effort by the candidates, there remains substantial room for improvement in foundational subject mastery. In sports, Appeals Committee of the Gambia Football Federation has upheld the decision of the organizing committee and dismissed the appeal lodged by Ali Sow FC. This followed the club's appeal against the decisions of the organizing committee in their protest in the second division promotion playoffs against Sibanor United. The committee met over the matter last week and following deliberation concluded that, having gone through the evidence provided by the West Coast Regional Football Association and Sibanor United, the concerned players are indeed bona fide players of Sibanor and were eligible to participate in the said match. The committee found Sibanor United not culpable of breaking any GFF rules concerning its competitions and thus cannot be held liable for the administrative error. The committee also observed that the match commissioner is a representative of the governing body at the said match, and amongst his responsibility include ensuring fair play, supervising match operators, managing the venue, handling team and official interaction, reporting incidents and ensuring compliance with the regulations of football. The committee added that it reached this conclusion having reviewed all documents related to the matter, including the master list and several match forms from the West Coast Region 3rd Division League. This is all we have for you in our today's newspaper review. Do stay tuned for more newspaper review and please don't forget to subscribe, like and share our videos. I remain your host, Fatu George.